Hey guys, it's Grand Admiral Thrawn, and in today's video, I am reviewing ARC Trooper Jesse. Now, Jesse is one of my favorite clones in Clone Wars because he doesn't have much screen time. I'd say the most he gets are in seasons 5 and 7, and he mainly only gets screen time in season 5 because of the Umbara arc. But in season 7, when he is the one that is executing Order 66 and is acting as the villain, kinda, in a way, he is perfect for it because you care about this clone, and this is a character you like that is turning against his own friends. So for the 66th video in my playlist, I picked Jesse. If you're confused of why I say Palpatine is the 66th character, that's because I've done double reviews, and so I've done more characters than I have actually done videos of Black Series reviews. But anyway, let's get into this figure's review. Now, this figure, Hasbro both does an amazing job of, but also a sloppy job of, and I will get to that in a bit. It really makes me ask myself, do they know who Jesse is? And the answer to that question is yes and no. But we'll get to the bad later. For right now, we're covering the good of this great figure. Now, right out of the gate, one of the best things that I think they did with this figure is the detail. Jesse, most people would think his waist cape is just white. No, it's got gray stripes, and Hasbro actually included those stripes. You've also got his two holsters on there. And since he's an ARC Trooper, they did the two pauldron thing, how the left side is gray and the right side is blue. And it's a great job. And other than that, that's not all, okay? They've got great detailing everywhere on this figure. The blue stripes are great. The gray stripes are great. Just the blue, gray, and white, the way how they mixed it all is amazing on this figure. And he's got his ARC Trooper backpack thing. I don't think it's removable. I haven't tried because I don't want to damage my figure. And I don't know that it is, so I would possibly break it, and that's something I do want to stay on the figure. On his arms here, you can see that they've even detailed on buttons and stuff for his, I don't know what I'd call that. It's his wrist thing. Let's call it his wrist armor. There's also detailing of like scratches on his arm, and that's really great. I think that he did a great job of that. They did the same thing on his legs, and there's gray stripes on his feet, and I think those are great. And then one of the best things they did is the helmet. It's also one of the worst things they did, but we'll get to that. Now, I love the fact of how they got the Republic symbol on his helmet, because that's what Jesse is known for. He's the guy with the Republic logo on his helmet and tattooed on his face. And they got the tattoo part too. But for right now, we're talking about the helmet. And the way how they mix the blue and all the white, that looks great, and just, they did a great job on his helmet. He doesn't actually have the full fin. Jesse's is cut off here, but it's a simple thing, and I'm fine with it. However, something that I think, there's nothing bad about this, okay? The helmet, I will get to what's bad about it later, but the tattoo is perfect, because there are people that think Jesse's tattoo is dead center on his face. Those people are idiots because his tattoo is clearly on the side of his face when you watch Clone Wars. And I think they did an amazing job with the tattoo. That's one of the best things about this figure when you have the helmet off and you get to see his tattoo, because that shows they put a lot of care into it. And there's just a lot of care everywhere on this figure. The pistols can go into the holsters very nicely. He's got great articulation, like you can have a lot of cool poses with this Jesse figure. And he's just a great figure for if you're a fan of Clone Wars and want some cool battles with Jesse in it. And just all the detail, I've covered it, but I want to cover some more. On the back of his legs, there's these lines to show detail. His knees have gray and white, and it's just like the paint job is really nice there. And they just did a great job with so much detail. But unfortunately, whenever there's good, there's also some bad. And I think the best way for me to show you the bad has to be by showing you the box. It's true. They gave Jesse the visor. He doesn't have one of these things here in Clone Wars, but unfortunately they gave the figure one. Fortunately, it is removable. However, it still stings to know that they did all this great, and then they also did all this, well, they just were inaccurate with it. And I think the best way, even better than the fact that they gave him something that he doesn't have, is to look on the other side of the box where they wrote Commander Jesse. Jesse is not a commander, he is an ARC trooper. And this is what I meant when I said, do they even know who Jesse is? Yes. Come on. And no. I do think it would be cool if Jesse had one of these, but the fact is, he doesn't have one. So this is something bad they did with the figure. I don't know, maybe they were working off concept art, except the thing is that Clone Wars Season 7 has been around for a while. So that can't be true, because they weren't working off concept art. This figure is new, okay? Clone Wars Season 7 happened a few years ago now. So what I think is more likely is they were kind of lazy and just copied the Fives helmet and used the same mold for it, thinking that, oh, well, he's an ARC trooper, there's no difference. There's a big difference. That's the whole point of Clone Wars. Clones have different personalities. Anyway, coming back to the box, we will come back to the figure at the end. I do actually really like this picture of Jesse. I really like this whole figure, but anyway, yeah, I really like this picture of Jesse. That's a cool picture. And on the back, I'm not that big a fan of this type of box. I prefer the ones where you can actually see the figure on the inside because, well, you don't know that someone could just open it, empty it, and then put it back on the shelf, and then you'll have bought a figure that has nothing in it. But honestly, that's not that big of a deal. I mean, I don't really cover that in the box because that's just the type of box. I cover the actual box in my review. And I think that they did so much good stuff with this figure, but they also did so much bad stuff with this figure, like mispronouncing what rank Jesse is. He's not a commander. He's nowhere near a commander. He's an ARC trooper. He doesn't have one of these visor things that Rex, Crosshair, and other commanders have. He's an ARC trooper. That's how Jesse dies. He dies as an ARC trooper, and he fights as an ARC trooper. He earned the rank of ARC trooper, and then when they call him a commander, it's just kind of disrespectful towards the character. But even with all of that said, I still think this is an amazing figure. I'm happy to have it because you can easily remove the visor, and you never have to look at that box again to know that they called him a commander. So for my final thoughts, I think that the detailing is mostly great, apart from the mishaps. I'm really glad the way how they got the tattoo right. That's something very important with Jesse. It's as important as his personality is to him. He's the clone with a sense of humor. And I like the weapons that they chose. So for my final grade, I'm giving this figure a 9 out of 10 because I still think he's great. And I do still recommend it. You can easily just plop this out. It doesn't break it, so if you want to keep it in, you can. It doesn't ruin the figure. Bad Batch has 2 more episodes coming out, and I've got 2 more figures I plan on reviewing for it. I know Jesse doesn't really count, but I'm counting him anyway. This is Grand Admiral Thrawn signing off, and here's a quick tease for one of my next videos. Commander Rex, I accuse you of treason against the Grand Army of the Republic. Anyway, this is Grand Admiral Thrawn signing off. I had to do that at least once.